Hello, my name is Isaac Price, and today I just kind of be explaining Christian coaching and leadership and summarizing kind of the skills required for effective Christian coaching. When looking at Christian coaching, you can kind of compare it to like a race, kind of the things we've mentioned before, how you can lead by example with servant leadership, trust and relationships, and just be an active listener so that you can help those who are, out in the workplace or just, in sports or anything really where you can apply your Christian values and beliefs and have a biblical worldview and still help those who are out there to reach their goals and run their race. And when looking at this, some of the skills that I could say that are required for effective Christian coaching would include building trust and relationships with those that you mentor or coach along the way. So as you go, you can use things like being an active listener. That's another skill, or even just being an effective communicator to the point that it builds that trust, which in return builds, relationships and stuff like that. If you have effective communication, you give good feedback and you communicate well, then you can help those along the way, and they start to give you more and more trust as time goes on. Another skill that I think really helps with effective Christian coaching would be servant leadership. And this is pretty much a highlight of Christian coaching is, you want to help those that you're going out of your way to, you know, run their race or just in general help them go in the workplace and stuff like that. So if you want to help those, you got to think, how can I, use that biblical worldview of, helping others. And, Jesus is the ultimate, example of that. And how can you help those that need your help and, put aside your pride and your ego to help mentor and help guide others in the right direction. So when discussing, some strategies that can, help resonate with people who are addressing obstacles in the a business workplace, uh, I think you can look at the book and you can see that, on page 41, it talks about servant leadership and how people have challenges and stuff like that. It says, coaching is a form of servant leadership that involves encouraging or challenging people to pursue their goals and fulfill their potential. That's on page 41. If you if you look at that, the biggest strategy would just be to, be an encouragement or be a light to the point that you can help people push a little bit harder or just push or even challenge them a little bit, like the quote says, just to get to a point that they want to be. Maybe they're not happy where they're at and they just want to improve, or they just want to improve the situation that they have. And I think using that example and using that biblical worldview, you can help out and help people reach their ultimate goals. And then, I've a Bible verse that actually really ties into all of this is Hebrews 12, verses 1 through 3, which states, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let's lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and seated at the right hand throne of God. So I think that this really resonates, with some obstacles that others have, using servant leadership and stuff like that. We can throw aside our sin and, lay everything aside knowing that Jesus, he went through it, and he's the ultimate, and the verse says perfecter of faith, he endured the cross. And I think that, we have our own challenges and stuff like that. And we can be kind of like servant leadership with Christian coaching. We can be a light and use our own examples to, put aside our pride and ego to help others. And then I think another thing that, could resonate with people addressing obstacles in their business setting, work thing would be or in their workplace would be, it says in the book, keep aware, Christian coaches do a good job of keeping aware of their values, beliefs, and biases. And that's page 49. And I think that's a big deal, with people that are, having obstacles and stuff like that. You as a Christian coach can, you can stay strong to your values and your beliefs and, have no biases and stuff like that. I think it all ties into, putting others first. So as a Christian coach, I believe that you can help others to overcome their obstacles, just if you can be there for them and relate to them and be just steady. You don't have to switch up or anything like that. You just stay true to what you believe in your faith, and just kind of be unwavering. And I think that really goes a long ways in Christian coaching and leadership, and helps others to be able to follow and follow you along the way. And that's pretty much all I got about Christian coaching and leadership.